everyone. This is Passion Yarns, the podcast, episode number 9. This is Monday. Nope, it's not. It's Sunday, May 3rd. And I'm Debbie Forrester. I'm the dyer for Passion Yarns. We do this every couple weeks, and I've really been enjoying being a part of this, preparing for it, because I'm learning a lot of new things too. But I just wanted to share what's going on with Passion Yarns, what's going on with my world, maybe some tips and tricks, especially right now, that will help you deal with the quarantine, some of the things that I'm doing, things in the future, that sort of stuff. So this podcast I have titled Other Things to Do. Now, many of us have been in quarantine for some time. I am now at 6.5 weeks at home. I pretty much have been inside my house, not really going anywhere. My husband is doing all the outside stuff because I have some medical conditions that makes me susceptible. So I'm avoiding going out as much as I can. So I thought, well, maybe I could find some stuff that would help with those of us who have been knitting, and or crocheting, and would really like to think of some other things to do that are fiber related that will help us kind of get through the pandemic. So this is a list of things that I found on a website called Talvi Knits. Talvi. It's Talvi Knits, and it was written by Susanna Winters. Some really great ideas that I thought I would share with you on other things to do while we're in quarantine. So the first thing that was on the list was organize your stash. Now, I was able to do this. No, I wasn't able to do this. I just cleaned some stuff up. I didn't organize anything. But the idea is that you would take all of your yarn out, and you could sort it in whatever fashion you'd like, whether you would like to have it size of yarn or weight of yarn all at the same, together, color of yarn, maybe if you've got a lot of yarn from one particular dyer or store, that you would put all of those, organize all of those together so that you get an idea about what it is that you have on hand. If you're especially an organized person, which I'm very envious of you if you are, then you could decide, then you could take pictures of all of your stash, set that up onto your Rav page if you're a Ravelry subscriber, and so that you would always have on hand, and you would know just by looking on your Rav stash what it is that you have in your stash, so that when you go to buy more yarn, you're going to be making wise decisions instead of buying the same yarns over and over and over again, just like I do. Also, while you're doing that, maybe you can take a look and peruse your yarn and see, is this yarn that I want to keep? Is this something that I will actually use? Or maybe I can donate it to someone, or I can give it away. Some places that you could consider donating to would be like charities. So any of the groups, for example, Linus Project, which we reviewed not too long ago, would take some yarn, have people who would be making squares for the blankets. Or maybe nursing homes, especially now since they don't have a lot of contact with people, that might be something that you could give to folks. Now, make sure that before you go there that you've contacted the nursing home and you know what their restrictions are going to be about donating something, especially like yarn, to be able to come into the home. But that's certainly one thing that you can do. Or maybe your park district, once everything gets back together, they're going to hold classes maybe for children. And some of your yarn would be good for children. Maybe you belong to a knit group or a crochet group and you would like to share that with other people that are in your group. Of course, you can't get together now, but set that aside for later. That's a good way for you to be able to go through your stash and clean things up, see what you have on hand, and decide what's going to be the best thing to do for it. Since you're looking at now doing your stash, one other place to organize would be what's in your queue on Ravelry. I'm a big Ravelry fan. I will go through Rav, and if I see something that I think I might like to make in the future, I will put it in my queue. There's a lot of things that are in there that maybe I'll make and maybe I won't, but it's a good idea to go through and to see, are you hanging on to some stuff that you really don't need? You can also then look at what it is that you've got as far as what's in your stash and maybe figure out what you can make that's in your queue. Another thing to do, now this is something that I did do, is to get rid of some of your unfinished projects. If you've got a project that you're working on and you haven't done anything with it for a long time and you're really not going to, maybe you lost the pattern or you don't remember what needle, hey, I'm speaking from experience, maybe you don't know what needle you used for that. So, you know, just let's undo some partially finished projects, get that yarn back into your stash. That's another way to clean your area and to know where you are as far as your projects are concerned. And then you can be doing those projects that you really do want to complete. Now I did this just a few weeks ago. I did it, if you want to see, I don't remember what episode it was, but there was one episode, I'll put it up on the bottom, where I did a tour of my craft room, and I cleaned up for that. It didn't look like it, but I did. I cleaned up for that, and I got rid of some of those works that were in progress, the little things that I started, maybe stuff that I thought would be a good idea. I didn't necessarily have a pattern for them, but I wanted to make it, design it myself or whatever, and it didn't work out. So I wound up all that yarn, put it all back in my stash, got those needles and hooks back into the drawer so I could have access to them, clean things up that way. So that's a good idea for you to do that. And it frees your time to work on those projects that you really are passionate about. So you're not just doing stuff just because it happens to be something that you started. Nobody is absolutely required to complete everything that they start, just so that you know. If it's not going to work for you, it's perfectly all right for you to take it apart, put your yarn back in your stash and go on to the next project. Maybe since you have cleaned out your queue on Ravelry, it's a good time to go and take a look and see if there are maybe some new patterns or some patterns that you've overlooked on Ravelry that you can use now that you know what's in your stash, that you can use to make a new project. Now I did last time review some digital formatted apps, mostly apps, where you can attach your Ravelry library or queue into that app that's on your phone. Belicious one, no, I'll put that up there from last time, which ones it was that you could access then what's in your queue, and you would be able to work on those projects. And it's kind of a progress keeper, sort of formatted websites or apps that would help you to keep track of what you're knitting. So again, taking a look on Rav, see if there's something on Ravelry that maybe you would like to have now in your queue since you've cleaned it out. So another idea is to learn a new skill. Let's say that you really, because you're so afraid of it, you want to be really brave and you want to learn how to steek something, which is knitting something in the round and then cutting your knitting, which to me is a terribly scary thing to do, and I do have that as one of the things on my kind of to-do list that I would like to learn how to do. But maybe you would like to do that too, or maybe you'd like to learn how to do a brioche. How about if you would like to learn to do mosaic stitch? There's some really beautiful things. In fact, I ran across a YouTube video recently about a crochet mosaic stitch and how this person who was very good at it made some really beautiful blankets out of a crocheted mosaic stitch. So check out YouTube and see if there's something on YouTube. Maybe there's something on a pay-per-view or pay crafting site like Blueprint, which used to be Craftsy. Maybe you'd like to do like a whole different kind of new hobby. Like, let's say you want to learn how to tat, or you'd like to learn how to weave. How about bobbin lace? Have you ever heard of bobbin lace before? It's such an old art, and the old laces back in like the Queen Victoria time were sometimes made out of bobbin lace, and they're absolutely beautiful. There's tons of YouTube videos that will help you to learn how to bobbin lace. How about maybe you'd like to learn to cross stitch? There are a lot of really beautiful patterns and kits that are available on different places for doing cross stitch. Now you have time to be able to concentrate on what it is that you'd like to do and learn something new. Next, we're going to say catch up on your podcasts. If maybe you happen to run across my podcast because you had time on your hands, or there are other podcasts that you've watched in the past that you've enjoyed, and it's a perfect time for you to be able to catch up on all of those different podcasts. Of course, many of them are on YouTube, but they're on other places too. I found a website called Player FM that is a storage spot for tons and tons of different kinds of podcasts, not just knitting and crochet podcasts, but every possible thing that you could want. In fact, there was a meditation one on there that I was thinking I'd like to try out. So there's a lot of different podcasts that you could look at. Of course, me is a good idea, and sharing me with others is a good idea. Maybe you'd like to join, for example, excuse me, a knit along or a crochet along, something to be able to share with others who have the same interests. I did one recently, started one in April, excuse me. Okay, better. Started one in April. And I'm going to show you where I'm at in my works in progress on that. But there's certainly something that you could do. You can find them on Ravelry. You could really probably just do a Google search and find knit-alongs as well. Certainly that's a lot of fun, and it's even more fun if it's a mystery. So you're knitting it and you really don't know what it is that you're doing. I showed recently a wrap that I did that was a Hohi Locatelli mystery knit along from a couple of years ago, and it was a lot of fun to see how this was all going to work out while we were doing it, and then being able to share about it on Rav, on Facebook and Instagram. How about if you host a virtual knit night? Maybe you have some friends that are knitters or crocheters that you would like to just spend some time with. Zoom is a really great platform to be able to have those little meetings. They will allow you to do a longer unlimited meeting for the first few. After that, they limit them to 40 minutes. But it gives you a chance to get to be around the people who you like, and people who maybe can share some new things with you or give you tips and tricks. It's a really great option if you're a crafter to meet with people who are doing your kind of crafting. My knitting group, and I'll go through that in a little bit, but we have been meeting weekly, and it's been great to see everybody's faces and to share. And I think I probably know them a lot better now, because this is a much more intimate meeting format than going to the library and having 8 or 10 of us sit around a table. This has been really great to get to know the folks who are in my group. Lastly, I would say support small business, support your small businesses. So there are a lot of us who are independent dyers and designers who really count on having those events that happen during the spring, summer, and fall to be able to sell our wares or to sell our designs. And we have not been able to do that because they've all been canceled. So I would recommend that if you had a local fiber event that you would normally go to, a lot of the organizers are making the list of vendors available on their sites regarding their events, since they've been canceled, and giving you opportunity to go to those websites or to the Etsy shops of those dyers or designers, and you have an opportunity to sponsor them by buying something from them. It's a lot of us really do depend upon the show income, the show revenue that we get during the summer, spring, summer, and fall, and folks are having a tough time. So if you're going to be home anyway, and you're going to be plying your craft, whatever that may be anyway, and you need some fiber, support some of your local businesses or the small businesses that do normally provide these supplies and equipment at the different craft shows. Okay, so that's it. That was 10 things to do while you're in quarantine, something new to do, including, cleaning out your stash, cleaning out your queue on Ravelry, supporting local businesses, starting a knitting group, a virtual knitting group, catching up on your podcasts, and doing a knit along. So those are a lot of fun things to do, and a lot of options that you might have for the coming weeks. Who knows how long this is going to last? I live in Illinois. If you didn't know, I live in the Chicago area. And we have, our governor has extended our stay at home through the end of May. Now some businesses are opening and some people are getting out, but I have some concern about that. Having a medical condition, I'm not all that happy about people starting to congregate again. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm going to stay in as long as I possibly can. I'm fortunate that I am able to work from home. So this has not impacted me other than I'm putting a lot fewer miles on my car and not spending a lot of time in the grocery stores. So we'll just see how it all goes. So for the business, for Passion Yarns, as the Passion Yarns is the company that I dye. It's my company, and I dye all of the yarn. This is, you can see, this is some of the yarn that I have for sale. I wanted to show you real quick, and I showed these not too long ago, but I wanted to just give you an idea since I have some very heavily variegated yarns, and when they're in skein it's really hard to see what they're going to knit up like. So I just wanted to share these with you. This is one that is called The One I Love. Isn't that just beautiful? These swatches are all knit on a size 2 needle. This is all fingering weight yarn. So this one is called, and every one of these skeins of yarn is $18 a skein. This is an absolute steal. So this is, again, The One I Love. This one is called Love Me Do. Isn't that pretty? The pinks and purples. This one is called Another Great Love Affair. So this is red and brown and white. That's, again, another great love affair. These are yarns that are all on my website right now. This yarn is called Romeo. It is teal and brown. Again, very heavily variegated yarns. This one is called I Need You in My Life. This is the blues and purples. It's really pretty. This is another one that's called I'm Mad for You. So blues and greens and purples. It's really pretty. And then this last one, which is called And I Love Her. And it is all blues, varying shades of blue. So really pretty. So then that's some of the yarn, some of the variegated yarn that I have up on my site. I do have a lot of solid colors. We offer our yarns in fingering weight, 75-25, merino nylon. We have a cashmere blend. I have a merino and tweed, or Donegal tweed blend. I have a yak blend with merino. Then we have our 75-25 DK, so that's merino nylon DK weight yarn, and then I have some lace weight yarn that is in a mohair and silk blend. So check out my store. It's really very affordable yarn, and lots of different varieties. So that's at passionyarns.com. So passionyarns.com. Okay, so moving on. I wanted to get in with my works in progress. So I had mentioned earlier that I joined a mystery knit along, and I want to grab all that stuff here. There's a bunch of stuff. It is for a shawl, and it's a 4-color shawl, and I had the first part, this part, easy, just garter. But then as we started getting into some of the other parts, it was a little bit more difficult. Okay, so this is a knit along started by the prolific crafter who has a store in Great Britain. The designer of this shawl is Jen Bartel, and it's a really beautiful shawl. It's been a nice challenge. Excuse me, it's been a nice challenge to do this. So basically, here we are at this. Now this was released in a 6-section design, and I'm on section 4 right now, which is a linen stitch. And then she incorporated this stitch, which is, she called the grid stitch. This is something I've never done before. It's kind of a float of yarn on the front of the fabric. So here I was, it looks like here I was trying to make sure that everything, the floats were big enough. Turns out I made them too big, but by the time I had done all that much of it, I wasn't going to go back and try it again. So we're going to see if we can block that out. But this is the way that it's supposed to look. Then there is this section, which has an eyelet row. And then again, this, which is the linen stitch. And then there's 2 more sections that I still have to do. It's really a beautiful shawl, and I love the colors that I chose. So basically, I've got a couple of different Knit Picks colors, and I don't have any of the labels, so I'm not sure what their colorways are. But this is one of the self-striping ones, and then this is just a solid one. These are fingering weight yarns. These are both from Knit Picks. These are mystery yarns. I have no idea. This one is a single, and it must have some alpaca in it because there's some hair sticking out of it. So I'm figuring that must be an alpaca. And then this is just the dark gray fingering weight yarn. I have no idea where it came from. It was something that I took apart because I undid a whip. So that's that. So anyway, this is, again, a knit along. I don't have the a name for the shawl. Or at least I haven't seen one yet. It is a mystery knit along by the Prolific Crafter. Here, I'll put that up on the site too. Ooh. It's the Prolific Crafter, again in Great Britain. Jen Bartel is the designer. And I'm looking forward to getting it done. I've got 2 more sections, just a little bit more of section 4, and then section 5 and 6, and section 5 has short rows, so that'll be interesting to do too. The other project that I wanted to show you that I am currently working on, and I really haven't done too terribly much with it, is a pair of socks. And I did mention that I've gotten to the heel now. This is pattern is Hermione's Everyday Sock, and this yarn is Knit Picks. It is a stroll hand painted yarn, and it is called Lullaby. Knitting these on size 2 circular needles using magic loop, as you can see, and I really like those. Those will be pretty. Like I've said before, I would really like to build up my sock inventory. I mean, it's not like I don't have a drawer full of socks, but I would like to have some new ones in there. Some of them are kind of been around for a bit. No holes, and that's what is amazing to me. I've not had one pair of socks that I've knit that's had a hole in it. They just get just a little sloppy. So that's what I would like to start doing. So my next work in progress. Well, let me show this one. So this is the Rouen Exquisitely, let me see, what's it called? It is called, let me get to it. Effortlessly Chic, there it is, Effortlessly Chic Rouen pattern. That is by Marley Bird, and this is Red Heart yarn in the Dark Orchid colorway. Now, just so that you know how much I have not worked on it, this little marker is where I was the last time. So yeah, 2 whole rolls. That's as excuse me, that is as far as I have gotten with that one. So, but we're still going to work on it. We've got other things to do. This is, well, I'm going to show, actually I'm just going to go into my finished projects and then show you this other work in progress. So I'm going to put a picture in here of a patio set that we got this week. My husband just finished putting together yesterday that I really, really like. Now we've moved from a condo into a house, and so we have a patio now. So I wanted to get something out there, especially with the wedding happening here this summer, that we would potentially have some guests. So I thought with my new patio set, I would make a pillow. So I have made a pillow. This pattern was called a cardiac rib, I think. Nope, cartridge rib. stitch. It's a 1 row repeat, so it was really easy to do. And then this is just some stockinette stitch and garter stitch rows that I put together on this pillow. So here we are, pillow. I'm going to be using purple and gray and this kind of off-white color. And this is one of 4 pillows that will be completed for my patio set. Here is pillow number 2. This is why I wanted to kind of show you my finished project first. I'm just doing a crocheted chevron pattern in all 3 colors. We'll see how it works out. But maybe make a couple of these and then one other kind, maybe something to match that. And then those, and then I have more yarn that's coming, and I will be making a small afghan for out there on the patio, because I thought it'll be pretty. So that's what it is that I'm doing with that. I am still working every day on my temperature blanket. That is a crocheted blanket that I'm adding 1 row based on the color scheme for whatever the projected high temperature is going to be for the day. And so it's getting pretty big, and it's going to be gigantic when I'm done. I'm really excited about that. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that I've begun making some face masks for my family, and these are just as cute as they can be. These are for 2 of my grandkids, my 2 youngest grandkids. Just as sweet as they can be. I still have to put the elastic on them. I've got some elastic coming, but just wanted to help out my family just a little bit. They can't really see them, so it'll be nice to be able to give these around. And I was able to, I have some, I don't even know where I got it or what I got it for, but I have some flat wire that fits perfectly right in there. So since many of us in our family wear glasses, I put those in there to help with the fogging of the glasses. So they look like little bikini tops to me. But anyway, these are some face masks that I have made for my family. Okay, I think that's everything as far as works in progress and finished projects. Of course, now I realize that I am home all the time, but I am still working. I'm still working full-time, well, mostly full-time. They're going to ask us to do another furlough week for the month of May, which means I'll be down to 4 days a week instead of 5, which is fine. But I always have so many things to do that maybe knitting and crocheting is not the thing that I spend most of my time doing, although I really wish I could. So the wedding, we have started to put together the guest gifts, which is a little box of candy. And then I have purchased the stain to stain all of the wooden objects that we've got. So there's crates, and I'm going to be staining all of those kind of a walnut color. And then I got my daughter's pinks and rose gold. And so we've got some rose gold paint that we're going to be painting some jars and bottles with. So I'm ready to do all of that. And I'm going to be starting her veil very soon. We were able to get a measurement for her, and so I have time to work on that as well. But regardless of what happens, we want to be ready. So August is going to be here before we know it. So we're just going to continue to go forward, just like we're going to go forward. We're going to have a new normal, and that will be fine. We'll adjust. As Americans, we're pretty good about adjusting with whatever it is that we need to do. So I will sign off for today. I just wanted to remind you to please, if you have not yet subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell so that you get notifications. And if you wouldn't mind sharing with other people that you think who might enjoy this, especially now since we have so much time to stream, that maybe there'll be some who would enjoy taking a look at what it is that I have to share, what's going on in my world, what's happening with Passion Yarns. When you share, that helps to get the word out and have everybody know that there is a new podcast that's available, a newer podcast. We're on episode 9, so we've been doing this for a bit. But this happens every 2 weeks, and as long as technology is my friend, I get them uploaded onto YouTube by the end of the day. So that's what it is that we're looking forward to. I hope you and yours are all well and healthy and safe and continue to do so. If you have any comments, please be sure to leave those in the box below. I'll have any links that need to be put into the comment box or the description box below. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great week.